I need someone from the society to show me, do we still stack up? Who do we have?
I'll do it, Shaun.
Welcome, Colleen Harper, come on up. Colleen is Executive Director and CEO of IES. Have you seen the show before?
Only when you sent me a clip of it.
Oh, good. Welcome. So, for those
Very nervous.
me too. So, if you haven't seen the show, as we ask questions, we're going to eat progressively hotter rings, starting at a mere 1,000 Scoville and ranging to 3 million Scoville. Same stuff they use on the show. I will mention these are boneless wings to make it easier for us, but the hot sauces are real. And many of them sourced from people in the society that responded to us on LinkedIn. Okay, let's kick things off with sriracha. Easy start at 1,000 Scoville. So, Colleen, let's try these out. Cheers.
Cheers.
Not bad.
It's pretty hot already.
Oh, it's We've got water, milk, Pepto-Bismol, honey.
Actually, it's quite hot.
It's a good start. So, it's your third year of the IES.
Yes.
How are we doing?
We're doing great. Excuse me. It's going to be interesting to go through all 10 of these. So hopefully some of you were in the, or many of you were in the audience yesterday when we were doing the opening general session. It's been a very interesting time at IES, but we have gotten to a point, I believe, we're in a growth, there's a lot of growth opportunity for us. So we have made a lot of changes. The IES of today is very different than the IES of pre-COVID years, certainly. And so there's a lot of optimism, positivity, and opportunity. So we're looking very good.
That's great. Let's move on to the next one.
Oh, I thought there were more questions on this one.
Health Circles. This is from, I have to credit Katie Gomez from Rad Lighting's Marketing. She makes her own hot sauces and sent me 3. This one at 3,000 Scoville. Let's try it out. Ooh, it's kind of chocolatey. This one's not bad. So, thank you for telling us how we're doing. How are you doing?
Right now?
Yeah.
Not as good as when I was sitting in the audience. Well, so at IES, I'm having a total blast. I think that I work with amazing people. Every organization that I work for has thought of themselves as very unique. I have to say that IES is the most unique that I've ever worked for. The staff is incredible. I hope that many of you have seen the staff around. I think we're all here this week. We're a New York-based organization. Not all of us live in New York, but we are able to bring everyone in for the annual conference. So working with amazing people makes all the difference in the world. And then, of course, since IES is a volunteer-run organization, we have a volunteer board of directors, and obviously, a lot of people volunteer for technical committees and other committees. The people involved in IES are truly extraordinary, and so that makes my job amazing. So I personally am doing quite well, despite
Well, let's pick it up and see how we keep going. Next, we move on to whoopbacks. We're going to Chipotle. Let's try this guy.
There's a lot of sauce.
There's a lot of sauce. So, before this, you were at the Audio Engineering Society. So, how do the societies compare? And you mentioned a lot of changes have happened at IES. Is it true that light is faster than sound?
So I have to say, when I left AES, the Audio Engineering Society, based in New York, and I gave my notice there, they were kind of like, Colleen, couldn't you come up with something more creative than Illuminating Engineering Society? Like AES to IES, that sounds completely made up. So it's also very interesting that the organizations themselves are structured very similarly. So in a lot of nonprofit associations like IES, the local groups are called chapters, but at both AES and IES they're called sections. It's just like a very unique thing that the two organizations have. I will say that IES technically is much more advanced. I found that I could go into many meetings at AES and kind of pick up what they were saying, even though I wasn't an audio engineer. At IES, the technical side of this is so much more in-depth and impressive that I think most consumers or lay people understand. I think we all take it for granted, those of us who are not actually lighting engineers or designers or researchers. And so in that respect, it is quite different. And I have really enjoyed being a part of a more technical society.
Let's step up a notch. So we're going back to Hell's Circles. This is Limbo weighing in at this is our first 100K Scoville rating. Habanero and pepper features prominently in this one. Let's see. So you've worked with Aspen and AES, IEC, and CQOP, lots of nonprofits. How did you find your calling? When did you realize nonprofits were really wanted to work?
Yeah, this is an industry actually somewhat similar to lighting, that there aren't really a lot of either undergraduate or graduate courses specifically for association or nonprofit management. More graduate courses, but not so many undergraduate. So when I first graduated from William and Mary, I was an English major, and I thought I was going to be an attorney. I was a paralegal for a year and knew almost my first day, like, no, this is definitely not for me, but I stuck it out for a year just to make sure. And I lived at the time in the DC area, and Washington DC is a hub of associations because a lot of associations do lobbying and advocacy. And a friend of mine, one of my best friends since high school, her dad had worked for an association, and she said, why don't you give this a shot? So I worked for the National Investor Relations Institute as the membership manager, and quickly moved up there and just never looked back. It was something that I loved, similar to knowing I was not going to be an attorney my first day. Being a paralegal, I knew the first day at Mary that this was for me.
All right. This is the bomb.
We are still on the first line
We're
here.
halfway through. We're on our fifth. This used to be the finale of the original season of Hot Ones, so we're looking at a good amount of ghost pepper in here, 135 Scoville, or 135,000 Scoville. Cheers.
Cheers.
Um,
Oh. Yeah.
We're going to need this. So,
Wait, how much is this one compared to the 10th one?
compared to the 10th one, what's 3 million divided by 135,000? It's about 23 times the. Yeah. Okay.
I thought you told me that these weren't actually that.
I have tried all of them yesterday. But we'll see.
I may need to deputize someone to.
So, Best of Frankfurt now has bought in, along with IES and ILD, to Light Fair. Looking to, and we're going to be in Vegas in 2025 for it. Thinking about that, yes,
Yeah.
collaboration. What do you want to change? What do you hope will change with Light Fair? And what do you want to keep?
I don't want to do this. There was not going to be this hot until like later time. Okay, at Light Fair, what I hope will remain the same is the feeling of having to be there. FOMO if you're not there. The community, seeing new products, having to be very excited. I hope all that stays the same. My eyes are actually watering. So are yours. It makes it feel so much better.
You're not alone.
What I hope will change is the experience that people have when you walk in, that there's more on the show floor that you want to go in and see. So last year we started, ILD helped curate immersive installations that were extremely well received, so we are going to expand those. We want people to come in and actually see. For those of you who've been to Light and Building, you know you go see these amazing booths that are almost houses inside. Light Fair is not going to be that necessarily, but you walk away from that event thinking that was an experience. Like, I really got to see some amazing things there. So I hope that Mess of Frankfurt is able to bring that to Light Fair.
So, we're going to pull in a New York City native. The next hot sauce comes from Juniper's founder, Shaun Fillion. I've had this show before. Also features habanero, weighing in at around 140,000 Scoville. So, We're both kind of neighbors in Queens. You're in Long Island City, I'm in Astoria. For all the folks who are visiting New York City for maybe the first time or whatever, this is really hard to do. If they want to have a memorable weekend in New York, what are some hot tips?
Okay, there are 3 things.
Oh, wait.
Oh, shoot. We never tried how big the bite wants to be, right?
No, the mic is not up to be big.
There are 3 things that I would do. One is, I think I'm going to need help off the stage. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to walk.
That would be the case.
Go to Grand Central, even if you don't have a train going through there, go to Grand Central. It is so cool, it is so beautiful. Last, that you were disagreeing with me. Go to Grand Central, take the Staten Island Ferry, which is free. It is very cool to do that. And the Circle Line tours that are a boat around Manhattan. I think seeing the city from the water is just really special. So those are the 3 things I would recommend.
And this is the perfect time of year to do that.
It is the perfect time.
Sure. All right, just to clean us out a little bit, let's go to the next. So this is the famous professional art managers. This features Ghost Pepper in it. And yeah, we'll keep going.
I haven't had milk, like as a drink.
I'm just going to
That was a
forget
child.
after this. We may want to stay on the show.
Cheers.
You won't regret it. Oh yeah, so it's
It's
childproof
childproof.
and going in.
You know,
I would be happy to be honest. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I don't have a first start. So, I know everyone's in love with the elevator system out there. It's a lot of fun. Colleen, if you were stuck for 3 hours in one of these elevators, which 3 IES members would you want to be stuck in?
this is a minefield of a question, by the way. There's no way you can answer this right. But I took the liberty of interpreting it quite literally. So, honorary member, Thomas Edison, because it also, we did say dead or alive.
That's true.
So Thomas Edison, Mark Lee, and Rita Hayward. Would be the 3.
I was trying to think, who do I think is the most handy person who could fix the elevator?
So I went through this like just repeatedly when I tried to get out of the elevator ride, right? I arrived at those 3 as the top 3, but there were obviously so many members, many of them in the audience that were very much in contention.
Our next sauce is thinking about the emerging professionals, by the way, and passing the torch on as well. This is Torchbearer, and we're going to be having their zombie apocalypse sauce, weighing in at 500,000 Scoville. It's getting harder to read these. So,
This is a terrible idea.
So, of all the EPs in the room, you've hopefully gotten to meet a number of them. Whose story's kind of stuck with you? What does it mean to be an EP now?
So, I actually don't, when I think of EPs, I don't think of individual people so much, but I think of a picture that I saw of Howard Branston at a conference. The number of EPs sitting around, he was sitting in a chair. I think there were a couple EPs sitting next to him at a table, and then there were so many people who wanted to talk to him that there were then people sitting on the floor around him. And I think one of the coolest things about IES, and frankly about associations in general, is that the people who are inventors, who are famous in that industry, belong to an association and participate and mentor. And I think as an EP, like there's nothing cooler than something like that. And so being able to see Howard Branson, being able to see, again, many people in the audience today, to have that experience, to ask questions of those people, to hear about how they got into the industry. For EPs, I think that's extraordinarily special.
Thank you. We're running out of time, so we're going to do the lightning round here.
Sorry, great.
Okay, next one, Hell Circles. Anger, this is featuring the second hottest pepper in the world, the Trinidad Scorpion. Then the question is, if you had $5 million given by a recently deceased IES member, what should our society do with the $5 million? In 20 seconds.
20 seconds, okay, yes. I would expand awareness of lighting as a career down into elementary education, K through 12. I think that's really important for people to understand that this is something you can do. And how important it is. I also think for IES to become more global, which is certainly one of our strategic goals, to invest in translation efforts.
That's great. My daughter's in 4th grade, and in 2nd grade they had a whole 2-week-long lighting education section, which I thought was phenomenal. Every New York City school student did this.
It's amazing.
It is. She knows Illuminates. We're going to finish with our final one. Oh my God.
Last one.
This is the last dab, triple X. This features X, the hottest pepper in the world. We're weighing in at 3 million Scoville. You should drink more Pepto-Bismol when this is done. You've made it through. Let's do it. That doesn't start too hot, but oh, there it is.
There it is.
All right. So, Mark leading forecasted innovations in our industry. What do you want to see in terms of cultural innovations, transformations to the way our society works or runs?
Like, so, I was talking to Kim Bursey earlier, that we had the education tour on lighting and human health. I think that it's incredibly important for lighting, for our industry to have a closer alignment and collaboration with the medical and healthcare community. And have there be the light impact on health and wellness, I think is something that is the next paradigm shift and impacts everything, including Department of Energy, Department of Health, Department of Education, across the board. I think that's going to be the next thing that's not even next, it's happening now, but something that's really important to IES and to the industry at large.
Thank you. And you've made it through the gauntlet, Colleen, so bravo.